Today I'm bringing you a short Zen story, or koan, from Kodo Ancient Ways. This is a book of articles published in Martial Arts Illustrated, written by Aikido sensei Kensho Furuya. In looking for another story to base my videos on, I had decided to use this book to find a nice story that would offer some kind of helpful platitude. I'd almost settled on an article that was quite similar in theme to my previous video, that being perseverance and overcoming disappointment. However, it didn't really feel like a video, at least not yet. After perusing the book for a couple of days, I quickly read Training Beyond Limitations, which begins with two stories that are revealed to have the same thesis. Our story begins like this. A Zen monk went to a well-known teacher for instruction. He asked, "How do you achieve enlightenment?" Without a word, this teacher went looking around, picked up a piece of broken ceramic tile, and began polishing it against a stone. The bewildered young monk asked, "What are you doing?" "Making a mirror," he replied. "It's impossible to make a mirror from a piece of tile," the young monk retorted. "Achieving enlightenment is like polishing this broken tile," replied the master. Our next story involves the patriarch of Soto-shu Zen Buddhism, Dogen Zenji. He had travelled to China to further his training, which in the 13th century was a very arduous and dangerous journey. When he reached the temple, he found that the monks were very lazy and ill-disciplined. Discouraged, Dogen returned to the boat, considering a return to Japan. Dogen had spent 2 weeks on the boat when an old monk arrived to buy dried mushrooms from Japan. Having nothing else to do, Dogen struck up a conversation with the old monk. "What business do you come for?" inquired Dogen. "I've come to buy mushrooms to make tomorrow's mushroom soup at my temple," replied the old man. "How far away is your temple?" "About 14 miles. "You walked 14 miles just for mushrooms? Aren't there younger monks who can do this task? It's hot, and you must be exhausted," replied Dogen. "I have to do this work because it's mine and no one else's," said the monk. "Why don't you rest here tonight and go back tomorrow morning when it's cooler?" pleaded Dogen. "I must return today, as these mushrooms are for tomorrow's soup, which I must prepare. I will leave as soon as I buy the mushrooms." "You are obviously a senior monk. Why don't you spend your time studying the teachings instead of doing such menial tasks? Let the younger monks do this work." Dogen was emphatic. "The younger monks are not me. I am not them. This is my job. Obviously, you don't understand the meaning of practice." "What do you mean by that?" demanded Dogen. "With everything in this world, nothing is hidden." With that, the old monk took his mushrooms and vanished. These kinds of stories are difficult to understand given the ubiquity of convenience we enjoy. Most of us wouldn't walk 14 minutes for mushrooms, let alone 14 miles. In his article, Kensho Furuya discusses how to train without limitation is to abandon any thought of gain. It might be best explained by first examining another symptom of modern thinking, seeking a quick fix solution. We're all aware that quick fix solutions aren't permanent, but our vainglorious hope is that if we enact our quick fix, then somehow we can make things better from that point onwards. And yet this never happens. As Furuya's article delineates, polishing a tile to make a mirror is a famous Zen idiom, and it does neatly encapsulate what is required of us in a great and noble endeavour. But to simply write off the process as "must work harder" is also to miss the point. Furuya writes of his experience in teaching Aikido, where he admonished a student who was quite awkward but thought himself very good. Even Furuya sensei admits he was very harsh when he said, "You are hopeless and have no chance to get good. You had better give up." The student was understandably shocked by this, but continued to practice, now resigned to never getting any good or attaining the black belt. After this epiphany, he began to enjoy training for the sake of it, rather than getting anything out of it. This seemingly led to an explosive stage of development, where the student became a black belt after all. This may be something we are familiar with, unloading the mind of emotional tension so as to allow one to progress unburdened with unconscious hindrances. Or, to put it another way, to live in the end. Furuya sensei's take was quite a bleak and harsh one, but his point was ever the same. Live as though you already were. Volumes could be written on this topic and its many facets, but suffice it to say, our task in life is to design ourselves a goal to accomplish, and the more difficult, the better. The accomplishment only occurs when, on the subconscious level, we embody the mental and emotional state of the person who would accomplish that goal. It should be so naturalized that nothing can deter us, not even the most horrendous of setbacks. This is at odds with our martial arts training. There is never anything close to a certainty. The whole world is dangerous and is out to get you. Unless we ourselves are killers, we will be killed. The best we can hope for is to survive. Anything else is cult thinking. And yet all we are left with is misery and failure, unable to improve. Bruce Lee said it best in Enter the Dragon. Why doesn't someone just take a .45 and bang, settle it? We are often admonished for believing we are capable of defending ourselves, perhaps to prevent seemingly bubble-headed incompetence and thus be badly beaten in a real-life encounter. I'd like to offer another perspective, that of being sincere and earnest. If one is serious about the subject of martial arts and self-defense, this leads to an ever-seeking approach to training. We are never done, constantly developing every facet of ourselves to be as close to ready as one can ever be. There is no resting on laurels, and we do not underestimate the opponent we may one day face. But this doesn't mean we become dysfunctional hermits hoarding copious amounts of weapons in our basement either. There is a case to make that a confident attitude would deter a would-be mugger. They are, after all, looking for an easy target. No one wants to mug someone who would fight back. Of course, the modern world is as dangerous and unpredictable as it ever was. We are not simply dealing with people who might run up and attack us in the street. Today's bandits might steal your phone whilst riding a bicycle. And let's not go into the current topic of women's self-defense. But the scope of today's topic is quite serious. Making ourselves and our world a better place is an attainable goal. It's just like polishing a tile to make a mirror. This radical altering of one's perceptions, I would offer, is pointing to a central thesis. That being, we cannot become something different by remaining the same. We are meditating upon ourselves all the time, but rather than perceiving what we have been, the practice is perceiving ourselves as already being the thing we wish to become. It is also a laborious process, which takes up a significant portion of our time. It doesn't seem to pay much dividend in the moment, and yet on the other side of this transformation is a new life, a nirvana. It is important to note at this point that like attracts like, and our starting premise becomes our final outcome. Much like our monk collecting dried mushrooms, the practice is the outcome. Our task is to change our emotional set point. After all, surely if we had attained our desired goal, we would be happy, right? But to become content, we must be content to begin with. It's a logical absurdity. It's not unlike polishing a tile to make a mirror.